Hey guys, OJ here. I know I haven't posted it in quite a while. I finally moved into the new house. No longer living the apartment life, which is fantastic. I had a few ups and downs, more ups than anything else. Loving the new move. A couple of things that did happen that probably a couple of that contribute to the downside of things. My PC did die during the move, so I had to replace my graphics card, which wasn't fun. I was debating on whether or not just to get a whole new PC altogether, but ultimately it was just cheaper and the graphics card is way stronger now. And I've been playing Fortnite, the only game you mainly see in general, but everything's running more smooth now. I haven't quite gone back to my old setup just yet to get everything recorded. Right now this is just being recorded on OBS, which is what I normally record on. And I usually have a capture card to go along with it, but for now I'm just doing screen record, so the quality of video is a little bit not what I normally do. But for this video, it's going to be fine. I'm kind of wanting to jump into one thing that I kind of hate that I just kind of want to bring up, and that is AI art. A lot of people are using AI, especially in the art community, which is, I would say, I agree with it if you're doing like maybe backgrounds and you don't want to spend a whole particular work doing, trees and grass and mountains, just to make things go by a little bit faster. But when your whole piece is nothing but AI, I do have a problem with it, especially if folks are getting paid to do commissions for certain projects. Specifically, I want to point out the one for Gamer Supps. I don't know if any of y'all are aware that Gamer Supps exists. It's basically a company that's mirroring G Fuel, but their way about it is I think they do no caffeine or sugar-free, something along those lines. Don't quote me on this. And then they have the hot anime chick, or babe, whichever you want to call it. Which honestly, this reminds me of a boom back in my younger days. Whenever what was the name of that little? Was it Tech Decks? I think it was Tech Decks. Anyways, they made little bitty back in my day when I was actually much younger. They made these little bitty skateboards. I think they were Tech Decks, but there was a specific brand. I can't remember the name of the specific brand, but they would put hot anime babes on the board, and I remember my friends were trying to collect them. I really never got into it, especially with fingerboards, finger skateboarding, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, that was a huge thing back when, was it high school, middle school? I can't remember. Anyway, that was like back in the 90s, early 2000s ish. I can't quite remember, but it was a boom. So I think Gamer Supps in general, they're basically copying the same model, using the hot anime chick along with the Gamer Supp models, which of course gamers, anime, I mean, it just goes all together. Besides all that, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. Now, I have bought a few things from, if I could get my words right, that would be fantastic. So every now and then they'll send me a text message of what new they got going on. I know I got a pretty good looking cap, which once I do the face reveal, I'll probably be wearing that a whole lot more. And if you're wondering, why hasn't he shown his face yet? I'm probably gonna go with it's more like work related. I don't want anybody from work to know that I make these videos in the meantime, until this channel takes off. And once it can actually like revenue money and I don't need to work a 9 to 5 anymore, then you'll see me a whole lot more. Until then, you're just gonna have to deal with the mystery of what I actually look like. I've also gotten a couple of arm sleeves, mainly for art purposes, and of course, to block the sunlight for when you actually touch grass outside for all you gamers out there. Anyways, on one of these notifications that I got from Gamer Supps, one of the things they were promoting at the time was this like racing chick mouse pad, and I thought to myself, hey, that looks kind of good. I'm really not going to buy it, especially at $50. RGB mouse pad. I have a mouse pad that works. I don't need RGB on it. I don't know. RGB is just a gimmick, in my opinion. Sometimes it's nice, but overall, it's just a gimmick aesthetic. Anyway, I was checking the mouse pad out, and I was thinking, hey, this isn't half bad, but the artist in me, if you can call myself an artist, I really don't have any formal training. Everything is self-taught. So I know a few things, but when I really started to look at the image itself, I'm like, okay, there's just way too many mistakes for somebody to be hired to even do this type of work. I'm pretty sure whoever is working at Gamer Supps, they're just told like, hey, find somebody to do this. They found maybe somebody they like on X, formerly known as Twitter or Instagram. I mean, this DeviantArt, Pixiv, or I can't remember what it's called, but just different art sites in general. They probably like the style of this artist. However, whoever this person is, they are not being 100% honest on what they're doing. This piece that they did for Gamer Supps is pretty much 90% AI. And I can tell you why and where everything is AI. Now, I don't want people thinking I'm just trying to pick on this person or start drama, because this is not what this channel is about. I just don't like people who aren't honest. If you're not 100% upfront, I mean, it's going to show, and this artist definitely shows that. So let's go ahead and go to... So yeah, let's go to Gamer Supps. Here it is. As you can see, I mean, they got VTubers, gamers, a lot of meme, a lot of anime babes, a lot of people you're going to see on YouTube, Twitch, etc., etc. But the one I was looking for specifically is, let's go to merch. Well, yeah, accessories and collectibles. Okay, go away. Here we go. Yeah, the waifu cups stick shift RGB mouse pad. Like I said, it was $50. They're sold out. I tried to click on the image originally to get it, but I really can't inspect it as much as I wanted to, based on the fact that I can't get rid of this sold out stamp that they have on it. However, smart guy like me, a few weeks ago, when I did look at the photo, I went ahead and saved the copy on my phone, emailed it to myself because I had already planned on making this video. Here it is. We're jumping into it. So let me go back. And it's crazy because this is like a limited quantity exclusive item. The artist is Praline. What was that about? Anyways, I've already inspected their page, but for video purposes, here I am doing it again. So they're letting you know so basically, if you like this art, I know they give you a link to this person so you can look at more stuff. Maybe they're selling merch. Maybe you just want to follow them. Maybe you want to see what other great things they have. But here we go. They are on X, formerly known as Twitter. Artist name, see, inquiries, DMs, fan art. Happy to share that I was in charge of stick shift waifu for Gamer Supps. She's also my first waifu, and everything is set. Everything in this set is so amazing. Yeah, everything is amazing when you just use artificial intelligence to do your work for you. A lazy 4-panel setup, which is the same image edited in the eyes. They added a person in front. Zoom in. They move the arms into a different position. And they rip the shirt open, which, ugh. When I saw that tiny hole with the gem, I had to, oh my god, this is... You need to touch grass, man. I'm assuming you're female. Whatever. So, I'm assuming that this right here is probably what they normally draw, which doesn't look that bad. It's pretty good. But for what they did for the Gamer Supps commission is almost not even... Maybe they just fed the AI a lot of their own work to create it, but at the end of the day, you really didn't do it, did you? Like even this girl right here, I know they're trying to go in with foreshortening, but they screw up heavily on the arm right here. Actually, they screw up on both arms. And this one says trying to get close to finishing this on stream. Yeah, I don't think you did this either. I think you AI'd it and then you try to doctor it, making it look like you did it, because it looks like it's trying to do line art on certain areas, then stops, then chooses it again, then stops. I know their excuse is trying to get close to finishing on stream, but for some reason, I don't believe you. Especially with this much work already done. Normally, when people do line art, the line art is usually the first thing done, and then they color it in. You're doing a mix of both with a minor background with the character finished, or at least mostly finished, and then the hat just, I don't know, it just doesn't seem right to me to fit with the art style going on. But that's just me. I think it's AI. Nowhere do I see this person saying, "Hey, I'm an AI artist," which I have seen. Some people do just throw it out in the open and say they are an AI artist. This person looks like they mainly focus in Photoshop. Even with this top image, I'm very skeptical of it being AI too. Mainly because with the round helmet, your fingers are going to be, hands are going to mold to it. I don't know why her fingers are exaggerated like this. This doesn't make any sense. Anyways, enough about that. I'm just going to go back to what I wanted to point out, especially with this image right here. Anyway, this is the image that I saved on my phone. It's a little bit blurry. It's an image off a phone, of course. Didn't have a chance to save it on PC. Anyways, this was the original image. It looks like the first thing that really set me kind of like, what the heck's going on? When I first had the promotional art, I noticed this black void right here. I don't know what it's doing here. This is how it was saved off of their website. I've double checked, and since then, the artist has actually fixed that issue. As you can tell right here, uh, where that weird negative space was is gone. Looks like they added a little bit more color. Right here, there was some, well, you'll see here later on in the video. And they didn't fix the hand. Okay. So anyway, that was the first thing that stood out. The second thing that stood out for this project, she's not dead center. She should at least be dead center or have center of focus on her, which center of focus is not on her at all. There's a lot going on in this picture, but from the things I have learned, from what I've learned, you need to make your character the center focal point of attention, which she's not. It's offset center. It's almost center, but still it's offset. And the focal point, which is like a weird fisheye lens view. Let me try to get some red here. I mean, oh, that is not the red I wanted. The focal point goes like this. The focal point for this commission honestly has the focal point being this area of the sun with the city, which I'm assuming whatever AI system software that they were using, it didn't make the girl the center of attention or the focal point. The AI decided this is going to be the focal point. If anything, this artist should have shifted this more towards the center with her. It's kind of hard to tell. I just really don't know what they want to do. This is the center of focus right here. Which, that's the second thing I didn't like about this. Anyways, going back to the focal point and the fisheye lens part, I really didn't like how the clouds were not only in front of the sun, but obscuring it enough and bending, which is probably a decision that the AI decided to do. If I were the person who made this, I would at least try to clean this up if I was trying to fake it. But I don't do that. So with my limited capabilities of A, not the greatest artist, and B, not really caring to be perfect or 100% fix this, like I said, I would have gotten rid of the cloud rings that are bending, which just get rid of altogether. Just keep the sun as the sun. Well, to me, already looks 100% better. Sun-wise, anyway. I also wasn't understanding what these little streams were, these little streaks. I know it's some sort of racing thing, but I mean, for a static image, I don't understand. I just don't understand that. I guess it's for aesthetic. I mean, because they're here as well. So after seeing all that, I just had to inspect it even further to see what other mistakes that were actually on this. Real artists wouldn't. I wouldn't submit anything to a company like this half-assed. Just gotta say it. Praline just wanted the money, and that's pretty much all they care about. So yeah, it's how you get stuff with a lot of mistakes in it. So anyway, so I just started digging in more into the picture to see what else could possibly be wrong. Another thing AI has trouble with is hair. And you can clearly see that it did have trouble with hair in general. For some reason, her hand meshes into the hair and is kind of, which is light shouldn't be showing through her physically like that, especially right here around the wrist and hand. Her hand and wrist should at least be detailed. I mean, of course, hair is going to go around it, but at this point, the hand and the hair are just fused together. It just looks odd. And going with that further, I was seeing how her hair was like swirling like this right here. And then you go into the reflection of her hair, and the reflection doesn't match. You should be able to see the bottom part of this hair. This is not even, this reflection right here is not even the bottom. It's just like it's a whole separate strand that goes in and out, and it wants to connect back to the original source. But somehow I realized, okay, it's not gonna flow with it, but still connected to it. If you look even further, see this window right here? There's two windows, two window frames. Not good. Going further with the car, there is a good frontal. I'd say it's like, what degree view would that be? Let's just say it's a three quarter side view. So everything should flow within 3/4, but it doesn't. If we're looking at this vehicle the way we're supposed to be looking at it, if you split it in half, we should be able to see the headlight right here on this side, but we don't. It seems to have taken a completely different car design. Right here's a whole different viewpoint. Because if you continue this car, it should honestly, it juts out. It shouldn't even jut out that far. It should be flush. We should be able to see the other headlamp, and we don't. It's a completely different design. And right here, you can tell that they want to put Gamer Supps on here, but it's like everything else, it's offset. If you were to slice the car in half, you probably might be able to see the GAM, or maybe just GAME. It should actually be at least somewhat center. It's not. Even the bumper doesn't even, it's a separate design that doesn't even connect to the other side. The girl's side, if I had to fix it, this is what it should probably look like. Not the best, just a quick fix. I'm not trying to do everything for this AI. But judging by how the car's formed, the way it looks, even though the venting is really not even this thick, if the vent on the car itself should only be maybe that top layer, even thinner than that, and the rest should be solid hood. So yeah, let's go ahead and give it a little solid hoodness. But yeah, minus the blending, this is the actual view of the vehicle itself. Don't know why the AI decided to change it up. I mean, there's too much going on, I guess, for it to register. That should be the view. Now, going back to the reflections on the actual vehicle itself, since it's, shiny and whatnot, already pointed out that the hair was wrong. It looks like for the reflection on the windshield, they wanted to go with a forward-facing reflection from the back, and it tried, but it didn't pull it off quite as expected. For some reason, the AI also decided that there should be a car in front of this one right here, so you see the reflection of another car for some reason that should be directly in front of it. That's the reflection that it's going for. Just facing sideways. The reflection for this one is basically facing forward. You're going to get the back. The reflection for this one, it's basically coming from the front, front side, so you're going to see that car. Okay. And then this one right here is going for it looks like it's going up, straight up angle, and then a little bit like this to get that reflection going on. So we have 1, three different reflection views, which is not going well for this piece as is. So again, I took the liberty of what it should look like. So coloring that in. So anyway, this is the approach I took with the reflection. Right here, you should see the back of her leg, but I wasn't gonna edit that. I just copied this, moved it back, colored it in a little bit more to where you really see more of this right here than anything else from the backside connecting. You wouldn't see so much the knee, but I mean, at least it kind of makes sense, especially right here and right here. Or really should have just colored in the entire windshield. Kind of quick fixed it for the most part. There's still a few more mistakes, like the turbocharger. If you've ever seen one on a car, the turbocharger does not go on top of the hood. I mean, the roof of the car. It goes on the hood itself. So that's kind of way off. Like I said, the vents. There's way too much vent. If you go back to the helmet, it's got an added piece right here. You should be able, it actually should be cut off and flush right about here. I don't know why there's like this extra frontal piece for some reason. It just doesn't work out in general. Another thing that's wrong with the girl herself is that she's way too close to this vehicle. She's so close, as a matter of fact, she is somehow floating above it and into it at the same time. If we were to continue, her leg actually flows into the car itself. I mean, and then the back of her leg is missing as well. She's way too close. She's basically floating, like, I would have to say inches above the hood. That's how close she is. Which in reality, she should be in front of it. So what I would do is I would have pushed her the center focal point. It would have been a much better piece overall. So if I had to count how many mistakes that I remember, so number one was the sun. Number two was both reflections. Let me turn her off real quick. Number three, turbochargers in the rock spot. Number four, it had way too much venting. Number five, the hood was wrong. Harass going on. 7 was the helmet. And if I had to, 8 right here. They fixed that eventually. I can tell since they did that on the website. And then 9, I think her boobs might be one might be larger than the other. But yeah, that's what happens when you let AI do all the work for you and you don't care to do anything else. You get a lot of mistakes. And people notice that it is indeed AI art. Well, I really wouldn't even consider it art. It's just AI cheats, hacks, basically. Kind of like how people use cheats in, like, I'd say Fortnite, PUBG, Call of Duty, when they have auto aim. At that point, why play the game if it's just an instant win? You're not even using your own skill. You're using a computer to do all the work for you. Which is the same thing. It's AI is just more cheats for people to use who don't want to actually put the work into doing anything at all. Anyway, for someone who wrote the comment, I'm happy to share that I was in charge of the stick shift waifu for @Gamer Supps. She was also my first waifu, and everything in the set is so amazing. It's so amazing that you made 10 mistakes, and it was so amazing that you didn't even want to do it yourself. You decided that AI was the proper way to go. Yeah. In general, I don't like AI. It's just pushing more towards the inevitable, where it's just going to take all the jobs. Artists are going to be without it. I don't know if there's a solution for this problem. I highly doubt it. Other than maybe human artists trying to contend with this as much as they can. It just really sucks for the folks who really practice drawing, coloring, doing art, still images, to get to this point to be hired by a company for doing professional work, only to have somebody cut you off in line with this AI stuff because they don't actually want to put the time and effort into being a real artist. I mean, yes, this person was hired to do a job, but there's just way too many mistakes, and I don't know what they were commissioned. But at this point, Gamer Supps got swindled on that part. Too late now. This product for the mouse pad is already sold out. Artwork's already printed on all these things. I feel sorry for the people who bought it because, well, they probably don't realize how many mistakes there are in this. And I'm pretty sure Gamer Supps isn't going to do a recall, so it's just as is. I mean, so if you fell for the scam, you fell for the scam. What more can I say? That's what you get when you depend on AI. I mean, would you still buy this knowing how many mistakes there were in this? Is the $50 actually worth? And that's not including shipping on top of that. Is it worth? I guess if you can overlook it, but you don't care. I mean, go ahead and do it, but I wouldn't. Anyways, that's it for today, guys. That's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. As is, AI is pretty much unreliable for a perfect piece of art. And just as unreliable are the people that choose to use AI because they do not care. And a computer cannot care because it's not sentient. But it just really grinds my gears when I know that there's artists out there who can actually do really great work that get a potential job taken from them from someone who wanted to cheat in the game. That's pretty much all there is to it. But that's life. Life ain't perfect. But ultimately, whoever was in charge to find people for artwork commissioning did a really poor job of vetting an artist to do said work, and they also did a bad job of quality control and inspection, which they did neither as well. So and you get what you get. Well, that's it for me on this video, and I'll see all you guys next time. Thanks.